Hey there, it's Dr. Cammisa. Welcome back to our video series. And if you haven't, if you're new to us, please subscribe, please like our stuff. But really, the little button on the right-hand side of the video for subscribing, that's what YouTube recognizes so that we do exist. And I know I exist because, see, I'm real. Anyways, today's video is going to be on my journey of chiropractic since I graduated, and now I look back and we have people come in and we give them consultations or we give them tours, and they always ask me, I've been to a chiropractor before, and what makes us so unique and so different. So stay tuned, it's going to be a great topic, and I have lots to share. Hey there, Dr. Cammisa again. Welcome to Ultimate ChiroCare. And today's topic is my journey on chiropractic since I graduated. So let's roll back the clock on this one. Graduated from Toronto, born and raised there, and graduated in 1991. So this July, it's 29 years. 29 years in this profession. And as we empower people to live their best day, what makes us so unique, so different? So just think about this. 29 years I've been practicing, and think about what you've done for 29 years in your profession, in your career, and what's changed. And I hope to God lots has changed, because if you're doing the same thing you were 29 years ago with no change, you need to find something else to do. And so we're always about change. So I graduated in 91, started my practice in July of 91, so this July is going to be 29 years. And so some of the things that make us so unique and so different, I look at it today and it's pretty commonplace of what we do every single day, and all these different cases that we have sent to us, whether it's from a neurosurgeon, a spine surgeon, a neurologist, or a car crash. It doesn't really matter. We see cases from all walks of life. And now, obviously you can see there's lots of stuff behind me, lots of equipment behind me. We're going to talk about some of the science on different videos, but when you think about it, how have you embraced technology over the last 10 years or so, let alone 29 years? So let me give you a little how things have changed. So when I started off in practice, we had traditional rooms with a small table. That table cost me just over $300 as a bench. I used my hands to adjust. We had a couple rooms. The busier it got, you just added more rooms and more tables, and you just went boom, 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 and you adjusted the patient, you were out the door, and that was chiropractic. That's what, getting adjusted. And if you look around here today, and if you look wherever you are, there's chiropractors that still do that. And it's okay, so here we are, 2020. And so let me share what we have done. And so it wasn't until 2002 I was on a conference call. And they were talking about pre and post changes and change in posture and change in the x-rays. I was like, you can't change an x-ray. You can't change the spine. And I'd been in practice for 9 years, and I was like, we were never taught anything like that. How is that even possible? So on the conference call, I hit whatever number it was, and I'm asking, well, did I just hear you right? Like you were talking about changing posture, that you were changing how the spine functions, like braces on your teeth, right? And the coach was like, well, don't you come to our seminars? I said, I come all the time. He said, well, don't you come to our teaching seminars? I was like, I didn't even know you had that. So it was 2002. It was in the Arizona Biltmore Hotel that I first got a chance to see Don Harrison, Dr. Don Harrison, a brilliant man who's since passed, but when I saw him teach and I heard him talk about how the spine reacts and its tension over time, and it's like putting braces on your teeth, and you can change the spine, you can change the posture. Well, I either thought he was either full of it, or where has this been? And that was 2002. And ever since that first time, now here's the challenge. When you know something, you can't unknow. So when you've been exposed to something and you have done your research and it's like, that's the truth. Well, you can't just erase that. So if you're going to be in this to empower people to live their best day every day, and you're going to, it's all about you. It's all about the patient. It's all about getting outcomes. It's not about us. It's not about me. It's about you. And so I was on a quest, and I bet you it was a 3 to 4, maybe even a 5-year period of time, whereas almost every other month or so I was at a seminar. I couldn't get enough of this information about biomechanics and how the spine functions and load and injuries and how it affects the spine and neurology and all the stuff that surrounds that. And so ever since that time, I go to a seminar and you see lots of equipment behind me, and we have equipment over here and equipment on the other side of the office. And every time I go to a seminar, it'd be a new piece of equipment. I'd be like, well, how do you use that? I don't know. I just bought it. And then I'd have to go to 3 more seminars to figure out how to use a piece of equipment. And that's what was the training session. And so here we are, fast forward from that time period. That's been an 18-year journey. And you're still learning. I feel like here, even though I graduated in 91, I feel like I'm studying more now, doing more things now, because of just this thirst, this desire to we've got to help more people. How do we help this person with this particular condition? So our practice has always been on constant change. We'll have patients that will go away for the wintertime and they'll come back and they'll say, oh, that's a new exercise. Like, well, Betty, you've been gone for 3 months. You know, we come up with a new traction based on the patient's protocol. It's like we call it that traction after that person, whether it's on the neurofeedback side. I mean, it just doesn't matter what it is. We've got to find a solution because every patient is unique. Every patient has their own story. Every patient, their problem may seem simple on the outside, but the human structure is complex. And they only tell you what they want to tell you. Oh, I hurt my back 3 weeks ago. It's been in pain ever since. And they're 50 years old. Okay, well, my guess is that's not the first time he's hurt his back or person. So now I have to be the investigator. I've got to go back. And when's the likelihood that the first trauma occurred to that spine? Because the spine doesn't forget anything. Well, just think about this. When was the first time that you fell? You weren't 40 years old. You were this big. You were an infant, down the stairs, out of the high chair, out of the crib, out of the car seat. Your parents dropped you. I've heard that one a couple times. It doesn't matter what it is. I had concussions playing hockey. It could be soccer. It doesn't really matter. But the spine gets injured as we live our life. And unless you've been living in a bubble with bubble wrap around you for your entire life, which doesn't exist. So I had to figure, okay, well, you're telling me it's 3 weeks old, or 3 months old, or whatever the situation is as the current as they walk in. But it's like, no, dude, you messed it up 20 years ago. Oh yeah, when I hit the wall at 40 miles an hour. Yeah, you think that's going to cause some damage? So we have to be this investigator. We have to look at all the aspects. So when we have a patient come in, we look at their posture. We look at their balance. And their posture is digitized through a computer system. Their balance is digitized through a computer system. We take digital x-rays. And I'm going to pause there for a second because you think about it. I just had a patient not too long ago bring in like an envelope, a jacket with x-rays, like plain film x-rays. Like, where are you going that they're still doing plain film? So just in the x-ray department alone, yeah, we start off with plain film. And in 2008, so 12 years ago, I went to the first digital system that existed at that time, where it was just like when you take a picture on a camera, and you would have the cassette, and then the cassette would go into a reader. And now we have a complete new digital system where the imaging is absolutely off the charts. It's even better than some of the hospitals. So we take posture, we take your balance, we take your x-rays, we do an exam, we do neurological testing, I'll watch you walk. And so we take all this data and goes into the computer system, and now that becomes your blueprint, your structural assessment. What's happened to you over all these years? And we get these questions. Well, how did that ever happen? Well, we just uncovered 5 different accidents, 3 different trauma, whatever it may be. So that information we get becomes their blueprint. And so that's when when I have a patient come in and they say, okay, well, I've been a chiropractor before. Yeah, okay, so you just need to hit Control, Delete, or wipe the slate clean, because what I do and what you've experienced, I'm telling you, it's not the same. It is not the same, because we have trained chiros here. I've had physicians come here. I've had neurosurgeons. I've had chief orthopedic surgeons. I've had spine surgeons come here. They have no clue. When I show them what we're doing, they're like, whoa, that's pretty cool stuff. And because they forget there's a head attached to the spine that they're fusing together. They forget that there's a head attached to the whatever the situation is. But, you know, when we specialize in biomechanics and the spine and getting them back. So if we're empowering people to live their best day every day, really what we're trying to do is get them back to do what they want to do. If they want to pick up their grandkids and go on vacation. So I'll just tell you a quick story. Pause the story for a second. But we had a guy come in, and we call these patients $1 million patients because they've had that much medical intervention and they can't walk from here to the front door. Think about that. They had all this stuff. Here we are in the best country in the world, and they can't walk from here to the front door, and they have all this stuff done. And the guy was 60 plus years old. He said, I don't pick up my grandkids. I said, why? He says, because I'm afraid I'm going to drop them. Well, that's real life. So changing their spine and their structure and their stability and their balance and everything that we do in this office is not about us. It's about getting that guy to pick up his grandkids. It's about getting the person back off of unemployment and back to the workforce, because for the first time they're able to do their job again. Or someone who's had chronic pain for 5 years. They've been to every specialist under the sun. So when these patients come in, they've got a booklet, pages, it's all categorized. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter what's in that book, because obviously whatever they have done hasn't worked. So we're going to be unique. We're going to be different. We're going to approach it from a whole different, we're going to look at Sally. We're going to look at Sally as a whole, not as, oh, she's got shoulder pain, or I got it. It's right here, doc. That's where my pain's been for the last 37 years. It's right here. So we play investigator. We put the story together. It's a puzzle. We've got to figure them out. Every person is unique. Every person has their own condition. Every person has their own story. But no one case is simple because we're dealing with the human structure. And if we're empowering people to live their best day, every day, not just, oh, I had a good day this month. No, we want to live their best day every day. So we just keep raising the bar. We keep investigating. Doctors or companies will call me and say, hey, listen, we got this new product. What do you think about it? Could it help your patients? And there's going to be some videos of equipment we have in the background here that's exactly what happened. Companies come to us because they have a product that we can help more patients with. So stay tuned. As always, like our videos, hit the little subscribe button. I really appreciate the opportunity to do these videos, share what we're doing, and impacting people so they can live their best day every day. Stay tuned.